Okay, so for those students, is there anyone who normally prints out the notes the night before? Find it difficult to print it? Nobody? Only one person? You have to print out the night before? Yeah. You did you find it? You found the notes last night? Because there were no notes last night. This is why. So inshallah, for those of you who tried and normally try, I printed it out for you, inshallah. So if you normally print out your notes, but you couldn't, then go ahead and grab a copy here, inshallah. It's printed for you. Or the first three people who don't even normally print it, they can take a copy if they want. Okay. You want to save a few for people who do normally print it out. Okay, so if you normally print it out and you couldn't get access to it last night because it was put up late, I printed the copy for you. You can have it, inshallah. All right. Let's get started. All right. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, wa ba'd. So we're on chapter 6, which is week 7. This is our 7th class, actually. So we only have 2 classes left, I believe. So we've come quite a far way. And there's good news today. The good news is that you're not going to be learning any new words today. Vocabulary-wise, there are no new nouns, no new adjectives, no new verbs. Isn't that cool? Pretty cool. The bad news is you're going to learn the plural of every single word that you've already learned so far. And the plural doesn't match the singular, so it's almost like memorizing half a new word. Right? So that's the bad news. But inshallah you can do it. So let's read through the plurals, and while we're reading through it real quick, you should already know the singulars. Hopefully you know the meaning, but this will be a good test for you. But what you can do is remember, whenever there's a vowel on the last letter of the verb, on the word, it means that that word doesn't take a tanween. So like for example, when we say Muhammad in a vocabulary list, we actually read it as Muhammadun, right? Because it takes a tanween. But when we say Ibrahimu, we see a dhamma there. You can never say Ibrahimun. So while we're going through this list, if you don't see, look at the first word here, Bait, right? That first word, if you don't see any vowel on it, we're going to read it together as Baytun with a tanween. And on this example, Masajidu, we're going to read it as Masajidu. So we're going to read the vowel ending, just to help you, and then I'll explain to you why we're doing that. So let's start from top right, and we'll read the singular, and then we read the plural. And you can kind of get a feel for the words, but you should already know the singulars, okay? So let's read together. Baytun, Buyutun, Rajulun, Rijalun, Kitabun, Kutubun, Waladun, Awladun, Masjidun, Masajidu, Talibun, Tullabun, Babun, Abwabun, Ustazun, Asatizatu, Qalamun, Aqlamun, Hajarun, Ahjarun, Nahrun, Anharun, Jabalun, Jibalun, Muslimun, Muslimuna, Kafirun, Kafiruna, or Kuffarun. Right. Mu'minun, Mu'minuna, Nabiyyun, Nabiyuna, or Anbiya'u. Insanun, Nasun. The reason why there's a star here, an asterisk here, is because Nas is not the plural of Insan properly. But they're 2 separate words, but they happen to have the meaning of singular and plural. So they're not tied together. They're 2 separate words from 2 different roots, but they happen to have one singular, one plural. Okay. Rasulun, Rusulun, Imra'atun, Nisa'un, asterisk there, same reason. Imra and nisa, you see they have no letters in common actually, except alif, because they come from different roots. Right? But it just so happens that nisa serves as the plural of the word imra in meaning, not in form though. Bintun, banatun, madinatun, mudunun, sama'un, samawatun, jannatun, jannatun, ayatun, ayatun, ummun, ummahatun, abun, aba'un. Adjectives. Kabirun, kibarun, صغير صغار طويل طوال قصير قصار بعيد بعيدون قريب قريبون جديد جدد قديم قدماء ثقيل ثقال خفيف خفاف ضعيف ضعاف قوي أقوياء غني أغنياء فقير فقراء عظيم عظام ظالم ظالمون. That's it. So these are the plurals, not of every single word that we studied, but these are the plurals of most of the words that we actually going to need to kind of know their plurals. So all of these need to be memorized. But the good news is that I will allow you a cheat sheet on the final exam, which I will provide you. It'll be exactly that page of plurals and singulars with no English translation, just the singular and the plural, and you can use that cheat sheet on the exam so that you don't have to memorize all the plurals in this class. And when Arabic 2 comes along, September 22nd, the week of the 22nd, you will have those 3 weeks to memorize all your plurals. Nice guy or what? Make dua. Make dua. All right. So that's what's the way it's going to be. So let's talk about the case of the noun. This is known as i'rab. So i'rab, for those of you who came late, by the way, in case you tried to print your notes last night and you weren't able to because they weren't ready, I printed them for you, so you can go ahead and grab a copy, inshallah, if you want. All right. So i'rabun is what we call the case of the noun. So i'rab is talking about kind of the ending. So nouns will fall into one of 3 cases in Arabic. So this is something new. They're going to fall in one of these 3 cases, and they're going to change the vowel ending on the last letter of the word. So we've been seeing this a little bit, right? You saw rajulun and then rajulin. It changes the vowel on the last letter. The raju never changes. The rajulin lun changes. So that's what we're talking about i'rab, or the case ending of the thing. So a noun which can potentially take all 3 vowel endings is called munsarif. The Western scholars call it tripto. Right? Munsarif means it can change into all 3 forms. So let's take an example. Waladun, waladan, waladin. It can change to dhammas, fathas, and kasra. So all 3 forms exist for it. That word walad is called munsarif, meaning it can change into all 3. Now these are the cases which we've been learning, but we never talked about their names before. So now we're seeing whenever a noun is going to take like waladun, it's known to be marfu', meaning it's in the nominative case. It's in the nominative case. So when we say, for example, or even with the al, so when we say al-waladu kabirun, you see on waladu, al-waladu, it's a dhamma. Kabirun, 2 dhammas. Because of these dhammas, those words are known to be marfu' or nominative. They're in the nominative case. So al-waladu kabirun means the boy is big boy, big or old, right? The boy is big or the boy is old. Al-waladu kabirun, dhamma, the first word al-waladu is marfu'. We're going to say it's marfu'. The second word kabirun is also marfu'. So now if we say al-waladu fil madinati, the word al-waladu, because it has a dhamma, it's marfu'. Fi, don't worry about fi, we're talking about nouns only. Fil madinati, al-madinati. It took a kasra because of the preposition, right? So that word al-madinati, when it comes, it's known as majroor. It's in the case of majroor. It's in the genitive state. And that's why it takes a kasra. So far we've been saying, it takes a kasra because of the preposition. We're just going to change our terminology a little bit and saying that the preposition causes the following word to become majroor. It's simple as that. The following word becomes majroor. And you say, how does it show that it's majroor? By putting a kasra. It shows its majroorness. Right? That's the way it works. Yes. They forget what they mean. They don't worry about what they mean. It's better to actually focus on the Arabic terms. So nominative, accusative, genitive were actually, Latin and English terms, which Western grammarians wanted to figure out a way which would describe what the terms marfu', mansub, and majroor actually mean. So it's not really important to even understand what they mean because they don't actually equate to the real meaning of nominative, accusative, and genitive in the European languages. So it's actually, this is the way I learned it, but it's actually not a good way to learn it. It's better to learn it without the English names. It's better to focus on this one with the Arabic names because you're trying to port a language which is a different language family into a European language family, and it doesn't work very well. But I'm just giving you the names so that in case you pick up an English grammar book on Arabic but written in English, you'll know what they're talking about. So don't worry about what these terms mean actually. All it means is you just need to know marfu', mansub, majroor. Marfu' is when the noun shows the two dhammas. And it's going to be where have we encountered marfu' words before? So when we say ar-rajulu kabirun, ar-rajulu is marfu' because it's what? The subject of the nominal sentence. Kabirun is marfu' because it's the not object. I heard it. We forgot, like chapter 2. It's the predicate or khabar. It's the predicate of the sentence, right? So the predicate of the sentence is also marfu'. Where else have we seen marfu' before? ذهب الولد إلى الجنة. The boy went to paradise. Which one of these words is marfu'? ذهب الولد إلى الجنة. Which one of them is marfu'? Al-waladu is marfu'. Now the question is, why is it marfu'? It's the subject of the verb. So the subject of the verb, we've been saying this a lot, right? The subject of the verb takes a dhamma. We're just going to change our language and say the subject of the verb is marfu' and therefore it takes a dhamma. That's all we're doing. Okay? So ذهب الولد إلى الجنة. The word al-jannati is which one of these cases? Mansub? Majroor. Now we say, why is it majroor? Al-jannati is automatically majroor? No. Why is it majroor? ذهب الولد إلى الجنة. Because of the word ila, which is a preposition, the preposition causes the following word to become majroor. And a word which is majroor shows that it's majroor with a kasra. That's what we're doing here, okay? So let's take a look at some words which we know are munsarif. They change into all three. Waladun, waladun, waladin, al-waladu, al-walada, al-waladi. 6 options. Right? What's another word that's like this? Bintun. Bintun, bintan, bintin. Al-bintu, al-binta, al-binti. Now, so this is the way it works. So just like rajulun, rajulan, rajulin. Ar-rajulu, ar-rajula, ar-rajuli. What causes words to become mansub? How can we find this word waladan with the 2 fathas? What sentence can we make? A verbal sentence, that's right. What position do we put this word in? As the object. The object, right? So for example, if I say Sami'allahu waladun. Is that correct? Sami'allahu waladun. So what does Sami'allahu mean? You say it in your prayers every day. Sami'allahu means Allah heard. Right? Allah heard. Right? We know when you rise from prayers, Sami'allahu liman hamida. Now you know that part. You can practice this during your prayer. So Sami'allahu waladun. Would that be correct? No. Would it waladin be correct? No. It should be waladan. Why? Because the object of the verb sami'a, the subject is the word Allah. The object is the walad. And the object of the verb is always in the mansub case. Okay? With a little bit practice, you'll get this. This is one of the trickiest parts of Arabic, just for people to wrap their heads around. It'll just take some time, but you'll get it eventually. Okay? So let's take a look at an example. Okay? So nouns can be affected by their position. So look at this. Sami'a Muhammadun bintan fil bayti. So you should know what this means. So don't look at the English translation. I know you're still looking at it. Not to look at it. Don't look at the English translation. Let's break this down slowly. Sami'a Muhammadun. What does that mean? Muhammad heard. Sami'a Muhammadun bintan. What does that mean? Muhammad heard a girl. Okay. Sami'a Muhammadun bintan fil bayti. In the house. So Muhammad heard a girl in the house. So we already know this, right? We've already learned this, that there's 2 dhammas here. We know that there's fathahs here. We know that there's a kasrah here. All we're doing now is we're learning a term to describe why that is. So the word Muhammadun, because it has the dhammas and because it's the subject of the verb, it's called marfu'. Okay? Why? It's the subject of the verb. If we replace the word Muhammadun with Ibrahim, what would we say? Ibrahimu. It still has a dhamma. It will not have a fatha because it's the subject of the verb. And the subject of the verb is always marfu'. That's the way we're going to say it. Okay? Bintan. Bintan is mansub because she's the object of the verb. If we change bintan to rajul, would it be rajulun, rajulin, or rajulan? Rajulan. If we change it to waladan or waladun, would it be? Well, it still be waladan, right? So it would still be waladan. So it is the object of the verb, and therefore it's mansub, and it shows itself being mansub with the fathas. Okay, that's the way it is. And then fil bayti. Al bayti has a kasra because it's majroor. And why is it majroor? Because it's preceded by a preposition fi. If we change the fi to ila, it'll still have a kasra and it'll still be majroor. If we change to fi to ala, it'll still have a kasra, it'll still be majroor because they're all prepositions. If we remove the fi somehow, then there's a problem. We're not going to have a kasra anymore. Something else is going to happen to the sentence. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're just taking what we learned already and we're conceptualizing it through certain terms, which are very, very common in Arabic, so that we understand the terms. Okay, that's it. 3 terms we have to know. Now, there are some nouns which okay, there are some nouns which can only take 2 vowel endings, and they never take a tanween. These nouns are called غير منصرف. So the other ones were called munsarif. These are called ghair munsarif, meaning not munsarif. They're known as diptote in Latin terminology. So one was triptote, meaning three. Diptote, die, meaning two. One of them can take all three vowels, a, u, or e. Diptote can take only two of the vowels. One of the vowels it can't take. So which vowel is that? The kasra. It can't take a kasra, and it cannot take a tanween. That's as simple as that. So any noun which is ghair munsarif cannot take a kasra and cannot take a tanween. Right, so we're going to see that. You've already seen some of these words, but we never looked at them in detail. So let's take a look. The word masajidu. Okay, don't look over here yet. The word masajidu. Masajidu, when it's marfu', it's going to have a dhamma, right? Masajidu. Right? But it cannot take tanween. So I like the word Ibrahim, right? Ibrahimu never takes tanween. The word masajidu, because I taught it to you, it has a dhamma. I'm telling you, you don't figure this out on your own. It's not like you think about it. Arabic language, the word masajidu does not take tanween, and you learn it that way. Okay? So don't think you have to figure it out somehow. I'm telling you. So masajidu, Ibrahimu, they don't take tanween. So what happens is when the word masajidu is mansub, it takes a fatha. That's normal, right? Just like the previous one, right? When we said waladan or al-walada, mansub, it takes a fatha. But here's the trick. When it's majroor, it does not take a kasra, like it should. It's supposed to take a kasra, but it doesn't. It takes a fatha instead. That's the one exceptional case. That any word which is ghair mansarif, like masajidu and Ibrahimu and Maryamu and Khadijatu and Fatimatu, you're probably wondering, why is there no tanween on all these different words, right? Why did Muhammadun have tanween, Rajulun has tanween, Kabirun has tanween, but these words don't have a tanween? Now you know, because they are ghair munsarif, and there's two rules. You have to hammer these two rules in your mind. Rule number one, any noun that's ghair munsarif will not take tanween, ever. Ever. It will not take tanween. Rule number one. Rule number two, it will not take a kasra. It will not take a kasra. Okay? And then, of course, whenever you learn rules, you have to learn the exception to the rules. So there's one exception to the rule. Whenever you put an alif lam on one of these words, then all three vowel endings come back. So you see this masajida in the majroor state. If you put alif lam, it can take a kasra again. Only if there is no alif lam on there, then it's gonna take a fatha. So we'll go ahead and break here, inshallah. We'll come back after the remaining prayers. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la حي على الصلاة. 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 حي على الص الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين وما أدراك ما يوم الدين ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده.
ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده.
We got 2 more copies. Anyone wants scratch paper or just a copy? Okay, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ba'd. So let's continue. So we have these 3 cases: marfu', mansub, and majroor. And when a word is غير منصرف or dipto, it's not going to take a tanween and it's not going to take a kasra except in one case, and that is when it has alif lam. So we get masajidu, masajida, masajida. But al-masajidu, al-masajida, al-masajidi, because it has al. All the names that we've seen so far are also غير منصرف. But names that we learned, which have a no tanween, they cannot take al. You can't just put a al on there. So if you have Maryamu, you can't say al Maryamu, like the Maryam. You can't do that. There are some names in Arabic, they automatically have al in front of them, and you cannot take the al away. Like for example, Al-Ghazali, Al-Hasan, Al-Hussein, right? They automatically have the al built into them. You cannot remove the al on names, and you cannot add the al on names. When it comes to names, you just learn the name the way it is, the way that it exists. Okay? So, for example, Maryamu. So we have Maryamu. If we said Sami'a, we would say he heard. Sami'a, he heard Maryam. What would we say? He heard Maryam. Sami'a, Maryamu or Maryami? Maryama. Good. Sami'a, he heard Maryama. And if we were to say Sami'a, he heard Muhammad. Sami'a Muhammadun, he heard Muhammad. Muhammad is the object of the verb. And the object of the verb is always going to be in which state? Marfu', mansub, or majroor? Mansub. So he heard, not Muhammad heard. He heard Muhammad. Sami'a Muhammad da or dan? Dan, exactly. So when it comes to Maryam, he heard Maryam, Sami'a Maryama. He heard Muhammad, Sami'a Muhammadan. Why? Because we learned that the word Muhammad is munsarif. It takes all three and it takes tanween. We learned that Maryam is ghayr munsarif. She does not take tanween. Yes, Ahmed.
So saying Hassan and Hussein.
It's not wrong, but technically when you're writing it, you'd have to write Al-Hasan and Al-Hussein. Yeah.
One clarification. The last sentence we saw was Samia Muhammadun Jintan fil Bayt.
Yes.
And is Muhammad is the one who's doing the hearing.
Sami'a, we had Sami'a Muhammadun. That's right. So Muhammad was doing the hearing in that sentence.
Right now he's being heard, so it
Exactly. You got it.
So if he is hearing, then it's no.
Then he's the subject of the verb.
Maryamu.
Exactly. Or
Maryam
Maryamu.
is being heard, then it's Maryam.
Exactly. You got it. That's it. Got it? All right. You got it. All right. So that's it. So if Maryam is hearing, it's going to be Maryamu. If Muhammad is hearing, it's Muhammadun. If Maryam is being heard, it's Maryama. Muhammad is being heard, it's Muhammadan. And how do you spell Muhammadan? Mim, Ha, Mim, Al, Alif. Good. Don't forget that. All right. There's an extra Alif there. All right. Good. So what about he? What are the other verbs we have? Okay, stick with Sami'a. He heard Ibrahim. Sami'a, she heard Ibrahim. Sami'at Ibrahim mu ma man min or me. Huh? Sami'at Ibrahim, she heard Ibrahim. Sami'at Ibrahim ma. She heard Nuh. Sami'at. Who said Nuhun? Who says Nuha? Okay, we got one Nuha, two Nuhas. Who says Nuhan? Four Nuhans. Alright. It's Nuhan. Why? You just gotta think, okay, she heard Nuh. First question in your mind is, what position is the word Nuh in? Is it the subject of a nominal sentence? Is it the predicate of a nominal sentence? Is it coming after a preposition? Is it coming as the subject of a verb? Is it coming as the object of the verb? Which one is it? In this sentence, she heard Nuh. It's the object of the verb. And the object of the verb is in which one of these three cases? It has to be one of them. Marfu'. So I heard marfu'. The object of the verb is in the marfu' case? No. Mansub. So the object of the verb is mansub. And mansub shows itself with what vowel? Fatha. Right. So with the fatha. Now that's question number 1 has been answered. Question number 2, the word nuh takes tanween or doesn't take tanween? Takes tanween. The way we learned it, you have to remember how you learned it. Nuh takes tanween. So we're going to say sami'at nuhan. It has to take fathas and it's going to has to take a tanween. So the 2 questions have been answered. Now if I want to say she heard, what other prophets did we learn? We learned Ibrahim, Nuh, Muhammad and Isa. That's too easy. Okay. Ibrahim. Okay. She heard Ibrahim. So question number 1. The word Ibrahim is in which position? Subject of the verb, object of the verb, predicate, subject, or after a preposition? Object of the verb. So it's gonna be in which case? Mansub. And mansub is gonna show itself with a fatha. Okay. Second question. Ibrahim takes tanween or doesn't take tanween? Doesn't take tanween. So the answer is Sami'at Ibrahim. That's the way we should be thinking. Okay, it's going to take time and you're automatically going to start getting used to it. The last thing is, when it's majroor, Maryamu should have been Maryami. Right? But it's ghair munsarif. So Maryam cannot take a kasra because that's just the rule. So instead it becomes Maryama instead of Maryami. So if I want to say Zahaba, if I want to say he went to Maryam. He went to Maryam. Question number 1. What position is Maryam in grammatically? Is it subject of a verb, object of a verb, subject of a nominal sentence, predicate of the nominal sentence, or after a preposition? I heard predicate. It's after a preposition. So he went to Maryam. To is ila, preposition. So she's coming after the preposition, which means she's going to be in which one of these 3 states? Majroor. Right? So now you say, okay, I know it's majroor. But is Maryam munsarif or ghair munsarif? She's ghair munsarif. So can she take a kasra? She can't. So the answer is going to be, he went to Maryam. Zahaba, he went. Ila, to Maryama. Exactly. It should have been Maryami, but she can't take a kasra because she's ghair munsarif. So, Zahaba ila Maryama. He went to Muhammad. He went to Muhammad. He went, Zahaba, to ila Muhammad. Muhammad, dan or din? Din. Because Muhammad is munsarif. He can take all 3. He's allowed to take a kasra. So don't deprive him just because Maryam can't take it. He's allowed to take it. So give him the kasra that he deserves. So, Zahaba ila Muhammadin. Okay. How about he went to Ibrahim? Zahaba ila Ibrahim. Min or me? Me. I heard a me. Who said Ibrahimin? Who said Ibrahimi? I have quite a few Ibrahimis. Who says no, all of these are wrong? Ibrahima. Because Ibrahim is ghair munsarif. He can't take a kasra or tanween. So what you did was you forgot one rule. So you say, you know what? We're not going to give him a tanween. You gave him half of his right. But you deprived him 50%. He's not supposed to take kasra either. You're supposed to give him a fatha because he's ghair munsarif. So this is going to be very tricky. You're going to make a lot of mistakes on this. But the more you practice, the more you're going to get used to it. So one more. He went to Nuh. He went to Nuh. He went to Noah. Zahaba ila Nuhin. Good. Okay. He is from Makkah. He is from Makkah. He, huwa, from, he is from, min. How did we learn the word Makkah? Is Makkah munsarif or ghair munsarif? It's ghair munsarif. So, huwa min Makkati, Makkatin, Makkata. Do you understand? Are we getting it a little bit? Okay, good. Ahmed, your question.
Yeah, so in some cases, like especially with proper nouns like with names, if you change the vowel and name, doesn't it sometimes become a female version of the same name? And would that
No. No. If you just change the vowel ending of a name, it's not going to turn into a feminine because you're actually adding a ta marbuta, probably that you're talking about. So what happens is, let me think of an example. Nuha. So the thing is, you have to be very cautious when you're listening. So imagine, you can't have Nuhatun anyways, right? But imagine, let's say, the guy's name was Jamil, right? The guy's name is Jamil, and the girl's name is Jamila, right? So what's actually happening is, if you want to put a fatha on the word Jamil, you're going to say Jamila. But when you're saying the woman's name, you're actually saying Jamilatun, but because you stop at the end of the sentence, you make the ta into a ha sound. So there's a difference between, listen to this carefully, Jamila and Jamila. There's that sound at the end. So it sounds very similar, but it's there. So difference. So you're actually not going to confuse anyone who is listening properly. So it's actually, it doesn't actually confuse most people. Okay? All right. Few more. She is from the city. Hiya min al-Madina. I heard a ta and I heard a t. T. It's T. Why is it T? You don't even need to ask yourself, is the word Medina, is it munsarif or ghair munsarif? You don't even need to ask yourself. Why? Because even if it was ghair munsarif, the rule is, if it has an al, it can take a kasra. You see? So you tricked yourself up. There was no need to even think about it. So as soon as you see al, kasra is there. Don't worry about it. Don't even remember, was it ghair munsarif, ghair munsarif? Who cares? Right? Just put a kasra anyways. Because you know the min causes the kasra. You're fine. A little bit of practice with this, it's going to take you a while to get used to it. Okay, but the more you practice, the more you're going to get it. What you need to do on this one, you need to do your homework, and then check your homework, and then don't stop. You need to go back, take a break, clear your mind, meditate or something, and then do your homework again from scratch, so that you don't have the answer memorized. This is the only way you're going to get this down faster. Otherwise, it's going to take you a longer time. And guess what? The final is in, 10 days or something like that? 11, 12 days? Finals on Tuesday, September 9th. Tuesday, September 9th. So, you got to get this down before that time. Okay? So let's move on. One more thing we're going to learn. We're going to learn, here's an example. So we change this around. Sami'at Maryamu Khadijata fi Makkata. So Sami'at Maryamu. Don't look at the translation. Sami'at Maryamu. What does it mean? Maryam heard. Sami'at Maryamu Khadijata. Maryam heard Khadija fi Makkata. In Makkah. That's it. So Maryam heard Khadija in Makkah. So Maryam in this is marfu'. Why is Maryam marfu' in this sentence? She's the subject of the verb. Khadija is mansub because she's the object of the verb. And Makkah is majroor because it's preceded by a preposition. But Makkah doesn't take a kasra because it's غير منصرف. Exactly. Or it's diptoid if you want to do it.
But Sheikh, how we differentiate which word is verb?
That's the common question. That's the common confusion. So how do we know which word is munsarif and which word is غير munsarif? The teacher tells you and you memorize it. It's as simple as that. Some words are, some words not, and you got to figure out, you got to remember which ones are and which ones are not. That's it. There's no other way. Okay? Alright. And the last thing before we try some exercise. There's some other words like prepositions, bin and ila and fi, pronouns like huwa and hiya, question words like aina and man and a and hal. They never change form. They always keep their vowels. So hal never changes to hala, halu, hali, halun. It just stays hal. It doesn't change. Aina, what does aina mean? Where? Aina does not change to ainu. It does not change to, aini. It does not change to anything else. It's gonna stay aina. It's not gonna move. Huwa doesn't change to huwu and huwi and huwun and huwan. It just stays huwa. So these are words that never change and they're called mabni or indeclinable. Meaning they cannot. Mabni. Mabni. Alright, indeclinable. So there's three types. These don't change at all. They're your best friends because you don't have to worry about them at all. You just read them as they are and you never have a problem with them. So words like Musa never changes. If Musa is the subject, Musa is the object, Musa comes after a preposition, doesn't make any difference. Sami'at Musa, same thing. Sami'a Musa, Musa heard, same thing. Huwa Zahaba ila Musa. He went to Musa. Still stays Musa, doesn't change. These are your favorite names, your new favorite names now, because you don't have to worry about them grammatically. Ila hunaka. Hunaka stays hunaka, doesn't change. Fi haza. Doesn't matter. Fi haza, haza kitabun, it doesn't change. So these are the easiest ones. You don't even need to worry about them. Just remember that they don't change at all. They stay exactly the way they are. And you wish that all words in Arabic could be like that, but they're not. So you have to practice, and here's a chance for you to practice. So I'm going to give you Arabic and English. Try and do 1 and 1, and then 2 and 2, and 3 and 3, and I'm going to time you and give you 5 minutes to try this. Okay, and go. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. Number 6.11. Who wants to give me their answer? Most people had it on the paper, correct? Just gotta read it. It's very simple. And Mom, what is it? ذهبوا ذهب موسى إلى مكة, which means Musa went to Musa went where? Makkah, to Makkah. So Musa went to Makkah. Number 2, who can read that for me? Ali. No, number 2 on 6.1. Oh, number 2, man.
What is number 2 on 6.1?
6.1, yeah.
Oh.
Haza min Maryama, good, which means this is from Maryam. Good. Number 6.21. Maryam went to the city. Who's got that one? Good. Did you say Zahaba? Zahabat. Maryamu ila al-Madinati. Good. Zahabat Maryamu ila al-Madinati. Number 2. That is from Muhammad. Good. ذلك من محمد. Good. ذلك من محمد. Good. That's it. The rest is for homework. It's going to be practice for you. Should we take a break so that your mind can get eased? Take a 3-second break, inshallah. Okay, good. So let's move forward, inshallah. So the sound plural, inshallah, the sound plural. We're going to learn, we already read through the plurals of words. So there's something called the sound plural. The plural of a noun or adjective is made by adding letters to the original singular form. So you take the singular form and you start adding some more letters. And you usually, that's the meaning of the plural. You're not going to subtract any letters. So we saw through the list that we were reading, Rajul, Rijal. You just added some letters there, right? Muslim, Muslimuna. Right? Kafir, Kafiruna, or Kuffar. You didn't subtract anything from the original word, you just added some more letters. Kafir, Kuffar, yeah, Kafiruna, yeah. Generally, you're not subtracting anything, at least from the root. You leave the root intact. So there's something called the sound plural, and the sound plural is your friend. You're gonna really like the sound plural a lot because it's very easy. All you gotta do is you gotta pay attention. Otherwise, you're gonna get behind. You can talk later. The sound plural adds a 2-letter suffix. Suffix means it comes in the beginning or in the middle? After. Good. So suffix means it comes after, to the end of the word. And when you add the 2-letter suffix, it forces a dhamma or a kasra on the consonant prior to it. Right? So I'm not expecting you to conceptualize this until I show you an example. So just take a look at this example. Where is it? There we go. These are the plurals. So the singular, follow my cursor. So the singular for the word Muslim. Right? The word Muslim, when you want to make the word Muslim plural, you're going to have 2 options. When Muslim is marfu', it should be Muslimun, right? Because it's marfu', it should be Muslimun. So when it's marfu', the plural of Muslimun is going to be Muslimuna. The Muslimun becomes Muslimuna. However, when the plural of the word Muslim and it's mansub or majroor. So what is mansub for the word Muslim? Muslim. No. For singular. If the singular word Muslim, it becomes in mansub, it's going to be Muslim man. And if it's majroor, it's going to be Muslim min. So whenever it's mansub or majroor, Musliman and Muslimin become Muslimina. for both cases. Muslimina. So you're going to say, I went to the Muslimina. And you're also going to say, I heard the Muslimina. So if it's mansub or majroor, it's still going to be Muslimina for both states. Okay? So Muslim becomes Muslimuna or Muslimina, depending on the case. If you add al, same thing. Al-Muslimuna, Al-Muslimina. It's pretty easy. So let's take a look at another word. So you take another word instead of Muslim. Change it to the word mu'min. So now the word mu'min is going to become mu'minuna or mu'minina, right? Or al-mu'minuna, al-mu'minina, depending on which case it's in, right? So you take another word, kafir. Kafir is going to become kafiruna or kafirina or al-kafiruna or al-kafirina. That's it. So you add una or ina, and in order to get the una sound, the consonant that comes before it has to have a dhamma to get una. Right? And if you add an ina sound, you have to have a kasra before it, so it gets an ina sound. That's it. So all you're doing is pretty much adding a una or a ina whenever it's a masculine noun. So Muslim is masculine, mu'min is masculine, kafir is masculine. But what about if it's feminine? If it's feminine, you have muslimatun. So muslimatun is not going to become muslimatuna. That would be very easy. But it's not easy. It's Arabic. So instead, it's going to be muslimatun. So what happens is, this ta gets chopped off and goes away. You separate that out. The ta is gone. And you add an alif to make it a, and you add an open ta, and you get tun. So muslimatun. Muslimatun. And then if it's mansub or it's majroor, you're going to get muslimatin. Now this, I guarantee you, is going to confuse you, because mansub usually shows itself as being, if muslimatun was mansub, it would be muslimatan. So the singular for mansub is muslimatan, and the plural for muslimatan is muslimatin. And I guarantee you, you're going to someday write muslimatan. It's going to trick you, I'm warning you. And just remember to put it in your mind. You will never, ever, ever find an atan in Arabic. You will not find muslimatan, kafiratan, mu'minatan. You will never find that atan in Arabic. It doesn't exist. So you could like program it in your mind. There's two things that you should now have in your mind now that you're never going to see in Arabic. And the most common beginner mistakes. Al never comes with a tanween. You never say al-bintun or al-bintan or al-bintin, because al prevents tanween from showing itself. Number one, rule, there's no exception to this rule. And rule number two, the atin, atun, there is no atan. Keep these two rules like just literally just ingrain them in your mind so that you never make these mistakes. Okay? So we get muslimatun, muslimatun, muslimatin. But then when you put al, you get al-muslimatu and al-muslimati. You just take away the tanween. Still, no al-muslimata. Still T. No fatha. Okay? So let's do this with mu'min. Mu'mina. So mu'minatun, mu'min. Say it with me. Mu'minatun, marfu, mu'min. Mu'minatun. And then mu'minatin, al-mu'minatu, al-mu'minati. Let's say kafiratun. Kafiratun, kafiratin, al-kafiratu, al-kafirati. T, not tin. I heard a tin somewhere here. Alright, al-kafirati. Good. Let's see, what's another word? Nabi. Go back to singular. Nabi. Nabiyuna, Nabiyina, An-Nabiyuna, An-Nabiyina. Alright? Let's take the word kabiratun. Kabiratun. We get? Remove the Muslim. Just kabir. So this is now kabiratun. This word would be kabiratun. This would be kabiratin. This would be al-kabiratu. Al-kabirati. Got it? It's not too bad, right? Alright. So these are all these little rules we said. So look, the sound plural adds a two-letter suffix. Una, ina, or atun or atin. That's what we see so far. The feminine, you drop the ta, so don't add a double ta. Huh? Don't say kabiratatun. Kabiratun. Don't add a double ta then. You drop the ta, and then you add the suffix. It forces a fatha on the consonant prior to it. Kabira'atun. Notice mansub and majroor, the plurals have the same vowel form. So if you said min muslimaini or sami'a muhammadun muslimina. Sami'a muhammadun muslimina min muslimina. Same thing. The sound plural does not exist for every word. So you need to memorize which words have a sound plural. But that's unfortunate. You wish they had more. Actually, the sound plural is actually not that common. So looking back at our vocabulary list, where did we see some sound plurals? Let's look for them. No. Muslim, muslimuna, it has a sound plural. Kafiruna has a sound plural. Mu'minuna has a sound plural. Where else? Jannah becomes jannatun, sound plural. Jannatun or jannatin. Ummahatun is not, because look, it would have been ummatun, but there's a ha there, so it's not. Nabi, nabiyuna, or nabiyina, right? So it is sound plural. Bint, no. Sama, no. Ayatun, ayatun. Is that a sound plural? Did you chop off the ta and add an alif ta? Yeah, you did. Chop off the ta and you add an atun. So you get ayatun, ayatun. That's a sound plural. So ayatun, ayatin. What if you say ayatan? No, you get upset with yourself because you're not supposed to violate that rule. Kabir, no, tiwal, ba'id. Ba'iduna or ba'idina. Qarib, qaribuna. What if it's majroor? What if it's majroor? Qarib, bina. What if it's mansub? Qaribina still, because it's the same for both. Alright, let's see what else. Zalim. Zalimuna, and if it's mansub, zalimina. And if it's marfu', zalimina for marfu'. I tricked you up, man. This is your second time, you should know this. Marfu' is zalimina. Majroor, zalimina. Marfu' zalimuna. Mansub Alright. I think we need a break again now. Take another 3-second break, inshallah. Okay, so let's get back to it. Alright. So where were we? Here. There, we did this. Sound plural. So that's the sound plural. Just remember this. Una, ina, or atun, atin. Very simple. And which ones actually take a sound plural? You have to memorize which ones. But for this class, you're going to have that little cheat sheet in front of you all the time. So you don't need to memorize it now. You can memorize it before the next class. So let's take some examples in sentences. Al-Muslimuna huna. What does al-Muslimuna mean? Yeah, the Muslims. The Muslims huna. Here. So it's actually a sentence. Al-Muslimuna are here. Or huna. So subject predicate. Al-Muslimuna huna. How do you say believers are there? The believers, al-mu'minuna, are there. Hunaka. Next example. Al-mu'minatu fil masjidi. What does it mean? The believers, meaning female believers, the believers are in the mosque. Are in the mosque. How do you say the disbelievers, females? The disbelievers are in the mosque. Al-kafiratu fil masjid. Simple, right? Musa wa Isa wa Muhammadun nabiyuna. Musa and Isa and Muhammad are nabiyuna, prophets. Right? What if you want to say Muhammad and Isa and Muhammad are believers? Musa wa Isa wa Muhammad dun believers are believers. Mu'minina or mu'minuna? I heard mu'minina and I heard mu'minuna. Okay, so the word mu'minuna or mu'minina at the end of the sentence, what case is it in? What's the grammatical state of it? I'm going to give you 5 options. Option number 1, it's the subject of a verb, it's the object of a verb, it's coming after a preposition, it's the subject of a nominal sentence, it's the predicate of a nominal sentence. Predicate of a nominal sentence. And the predicate of a nominal sentence is always going to be in which state? Marfu', mansub, or majroor? Mansub? Where did you learn that? Huwa. You got most of it. Huwa kabirun. He is big. Right? Kabirun is the predicate. And is marfu'. You just probably didn't get the names down, but it's dhammas, right? Yeah. So marfu' is the dhamma one, and mansub is the fatha one, and majroor is the kasra one. You just get that down. I'm not going to test you on this though. I don't care if you remember these names really, but I want to see that vowel correct. That's all I really care about. Okay. Next one. Zahaba ilal muslimina. He went. Zahaba. He went. Ilal muslimina, to the Muslims. So how do you say he went to the believers? Zahaba ilal mu'minina. How do you say he went to the Muslim girls, the female Muslims? Zahaba ilal al-muslimati. Because and you can't have tin, right? No tanween with Alright, so al-muslimati. Good. Alright. Now we're going to learn something called the broken plural. So you thought, this was pretty cool. This was pretty easy. Unfortunately, most nouns and adjectives don't take the sound plural. It doesn't exist for them. So they take what's called a broken plural. Now the cool thing about a broken plural is there's no rule to figure out. You just memorize the word. But the not cool thing is, it's not predictable. So you have to memorize every single plural as being in that form. So it involves adding letters anywhere in the word. So remember what's the difference between the sound plural? We said it's a suffix. You add una, ina, or atun, or atin. At which part of the word? Beginning, middle, or end? End. When it comes to broken plural, you can add letters anywhere. Beginning, middle, or end, you don't know which one it's going to be. So So that's like, for example, in English we have the same thing. So if you take the word pen and you want to make it plural, what do? You add a S, you get pens. Car, you add a S at the end, right? You take a cup, cups. So that's the sound plural. The broken plural, take the word man. Can you add an S at the end and say mans? No, it becomes men. So it breaks in between and it changes letters in the middle of the word. That's why it's called broken plural. It breaks apart the words that were in the middle. So it doesn't keep it the way that it originally was. So that's the way it is. Most plurals are broken plurals, and you have to memorize them. So you have to go through your vocab and you have to say, okay, what is the plural for baytun? Okay, I know it's not baytuna, because there is no sound plural for bayt. So it's not baytuna or baytina or baytatun or baytatin. So I have to memorize what it is. It's buyutun. How do you know? By looking at the vocabulary sheet and memorizing it. That's how you know baytun is buyutun is for the plural. So you have to memorize all of them. So look at kabir, singular, plural is kibar. Right? Kabirun, kibarun, al-kibaru. How do you know? Vocabulary list. Masjidun, masajidu. What is this word called? What type of noun is this? Munsarif or ghayr munsarif? Ghayr munsarif. So masjidun, masajidu, al-masajidu. So that's something that needs to be memorized. How do we use it? So keep your vocabulary sheet in front of you when you're going through this right now. The word al-kutubu is the plural of kitab. Right? So al-kutubu, what does al-kutubu mean? The books. Fi, in, they're in, al-buyut. Right? Buyut is the plural of bayt. So you can kind of tell, it's not that difficult. When you read the Arabic, it's easy, because you can figure out, you already know what word that probably is. You see the ba, you see the ya, and you see the ta. Bayt has these letters. You're not going to think, oh, buyut. Is that the plural of rajul? No, right? Obviously, because there's no connection there. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the original letters in that word and in this word, and you'll figure it out. But when you're transiting from English to Arabic, that's when you're in trouble. And you need that vocab list to help you out. So, al-kutubu fil buyuti. The books are in the houses. So just bring this back to the singular. You already knew this. Al-kitabu fil bayti. The book is in the house. You just change it to the plural form. Al-kutubu fil buyuti. The books are in the houses. You just change it, nothing else changes. The preposition doesn't become plural. It stays the way it is. Because of the fi, this is going to have a kasra. Fil buyuti. Because the word al-buyuti is marfu', mansub, or majroor. 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 Good. So it's going to have a kasra. Right? Next one is al-banatu. Plural of al-bintu. Right? So al-banatu, the girls, are min from al-muduni. Al-Madina, al-Mudun. The girls are from the cities. It's simple as that. Right? So let's just try a few samples. Okay. The pens are in the mosques. The pens. You look at your vocab sheet. Right? The pen, will you find it under adjective or noun? Noun. And the mosque will find under adjective? Also under noun. So just look at the noun part. They're separated for you. So the pens are in the mosques. Al-aqlamu fil masaji. Di or do or da? I heard masajidu. Fil masajidu. Fil masajidi. Isn't the word masajid غير منصرف? So shouldn't it be fil masajida? Huh? So you change your mind now, you say masajida. Yeah? Who changed their mind? They say fil masajida. Alright. It's fil masajidi. Right? Because it has an al. And the غير منصرف doesn't work with al, right? But if we take away the al, and we say the pens are in mosques, no al, no the, al-aqlam, the pens, fi are in mosques, masajid, the. Why? Because the word masajid is غير منصرف. Not the singular, only the plural form. How do you know it? Because I told you, whenever I read a dhamma in the vocabulary, it means that word is غير منصرف. Right? We lost there? We need a 5-second break instead? Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. We still got time. Okay, so we need some time. Any questions? Or it just needs some time to sink in? Or are there questions? Something that's I know we're combining a lot of rules together. Okay, so did anyone not understand that part of? Okay, take this example. Al-kutubu fi. Keep this example in your mind. The books are in. Okay. Now I'm going to change this word to al-masajid. Okay, al-masajid. What does it mean? The books are in the mosques. Now I want to know if this word is al-masajid, what vowel is going to go on here? Kasra. It's going to have a kasra. Why is it going to have a kasra? Because it's because of the fi. Right? It's because of the fi is a preposition, and the word al-masajid is in the state of mansub, marfu' or majrur. Majrur. And majrur shows itself with a what vowel? Fatha, kasra, or dhamma. The kasra. Now you're going to say, well, wait a minute. I thought the word masajid is غير منصرف. You're right, it's غير منصرف, but غير منصرف doesn't work when there's al attached to it. That's why it stays al-masajidi. Now, same example. Al-kutubu fi masajid. No al. Right? So it should have taken a kasra because it's a preposition. The preposition makes it majrur. But it's not going to take a kasra. Why? Because it's غير منصرف. And غير منصرف words, unless they have al, they will not take a kasra. But instead of a kasra, they're going to take a fatha. Yes?
I'm just a little bit lost, but the previous word, previous iteration is majrur because
Majrur because of the preposition fi. So, fi, ila, min, and ala are 4 prepositions that we learned. Any word that comes after them, we said that that word is going to take a kasra. Right? Any word that comes after a preposition will take a kasra because it's majrur, with one exception. And that one exception is if that word happens to be a غير منصرف word, like Maryam, or Masajid, or Ibrahim, or Khadija, because those words don't take kasras, as long as they don't have a al attached to them. Right. So the word Masajid, if it doesn't have a al, it's not allowed to take a kasra. So it was supposed to take a kasra because of the preposition, but it wasn't allowed to. So instead of giving it a kasra, you just give it a fatha. That's all it is. Let me write this out for you to clarify. Make it even clearer. Okay. So let's take another example here. Zahaba. He went. Ila. What does ila mean? To. Okay. ذهب إلى المساجد. ذهب إلى مساجد. Okay. Why is this al-masajidi but this is masajida? The reason is because this word right here is غير منصرف and it doesn't have an al. When the al comes back, it's going to act like as if it was not غير منصرف anymore. If we change this word to Maryam, is she going to take a fatha or a kasra? She's going to take a fatha. If we put Ibrahim, is he going to take a fatha or a kasra? Fatha. If we put Muhammad instead here, we're putting the word here. Zahaba, he went, ila. If we put Muhammad, is he going to take a fatha or a kasra? Kasra. Right? Why? Because this word is munsarif. This word is not. This word is not. This word is not. But you say, oh, wait a minute. If this is not, then why does this guy get a kasra? Because he's the one exception to the rule. Why is he an exception? Because he took an al. That's the one, you have to get the exception there in your mind. This is the one exception. Okay? Questions? Okay. Let's get back to it. And is it loading? Okay. Let's do some work. So do 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. I'll give you 8 minutes. And let's begin. No microphone. Yeah, English. Whatever you can do. Just keep going 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Till time runs out. Got 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay. Let's see what we got. Number 1. Who would like to read that out? 6.3, number 1. Very good. I will volunteer myself. Al-kutubu min anbiya. No? Anbiya'i. Because the word anbiya is munsarif or ghair munsarif? It's munsarif? How do you know it's munsarif? There's no u? Is there a u or no? In the vocabulary list? Just check. Going back to slide. Where is it? Where? Oh, there, look at. What is that thing right there? That's a u. Right? So if the u means it's غير منصرف. So okay. So now that you saw the u, going back to our slide. Al-kutubu min anbiya. It's one of these three. Al-kutubu min anbiya. Okay, if I said Maryam, it would be Al-kutubu min Maryam. So Maryam is غير منصرف. And I'm telling you Anbiya is also غير منصرف. So Al-Kutubu min Anbiya, just like Maryam. Alright, got it? Good. So the books are from prophets, not the prophets, not prophets. Number 2, Al-Awladu min al-Muduni. The boys are from the cities. Good. 6.4, number 1. The signs are in gardens. Not the gardens, in gardens. Al-ayatu fi jannatin. Gardens, not the gardens. Number 2, she found teachers in the house. Wajadat asatizata fil bayti. She found. We don't need to put the hiya in there because it's built into the verb. So she found. Wajadat asatizata fil bayti. Who got 3 out of 4? 2 out of 4. 2.5 out of 4. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, alhamdulillah. Just practice. But any questions on why that is? It's clear though? It makes sense once I tell you the answer? Did it make sense or just something confusion? It's good? Okay. 58, 56. Okay, we still got time. So now there's something in Arabic called the dual number, which is kind of annoying because it doesn't exist in very many other languages. So whenever, and actually you should pay attention to this because we didn't learn it in the other class. Okay, you got it. So the dual number is whenever you're referring to 2 people or 2 things, you have to use a completely different form. You don't use una, you don't use ina, and you don't use the broken plural. There's a whole different form when you're referring to 2 people or 2 things. When you're referring to 3 or more, you use the plural. When you're referring to 1, you use the singular. When you're referring to less than 1, you're not speaking Arabic because there's nothing to say. But when you're speaking about 2 things or 2 people, you have to use the dual. So all you do is you add a 2-letter suffix to the end of the word, like una and ina. Instead, it's ani and aini. Okay, so I'm going to just show you the way it is here. There. So look at this. Muslimun. If you want to say 2 Muslims, okay, you don't say muslimuna. You have to say muslimani when it's marfu'. And when it's mansub or majroor, you say muslimaini. And if you put al-muslimani, al-muslimaini. It's actually not that difficult, right? If you wanted to say 2 believers, you would get believers. Mu'minani. Or if it's mansub or majroor, it would be mu'minaini. Al-mu'minani, al-mu'minaini. What if it's kafir? Kafirani. Or kafiraini. That's it. And when it's feminine, muslimatun, you actually keep the ta. You don't chop it off. You keep the ta and you get muslimatani. Except that the round ta converts back into open ta. Because remember, round ta can only come at the end of the letter, end of the word. Muslimatani, muslimataini. If you said believer, female believer, you get mu'minatani, mu'minataini. If you said kafiratun, you would get kafiratani or kafirataini. Pretty easy actually, right? So it's actually easy to get the rule down. What's very annoying is actually having to read this in Arabic. You'll see how annoying it is later on, but for now it's easy. 1 minute, I got it. Yeah. If it's mixed male female, it doesn't matter. If it's you use the male. So if you have 1 male, 1 female, you use the male form. The female form only applies when it's all females, meaning 3 or more all females, or even 2 females. Otherwise, use the masculine form. Yeah. So We'll do some practice when you get back from prayer, and you can start doing this, inshallah, for practice as soon as you get back. All right, let's go for prayer. Assalamu alaikum.
Still also. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
So we'll take 4 minutes to do as many as we can, inshallah. Do one and one, one and one. Ten seconds. Okay, let's take a look. Number one, who would like to volunteer? Mustafa, good. Al-Kitabani fil Bayti. The two books are in the house. Did I get it correct? Yes, I did. Alhamdulillah. Number 2. ذهب الولد إلى مسجدين هناك. Did I get it correct? No, I didn't. So I said ذهب الولد إلى مسجدين هناك. That's not correct. ذهب الولد. Because who did the going? The boy. So ذهب الولد إلى مسجدين هناك. The boy. You can come in. The boy went to the 2 mosques over there. The boy went to the 2 mosques over there. Who got that? Alright. And who put down what I said first? Good. Nobody put that. Alright. 6.6, number 1. The 2 pens are on the 2 books. This should be an easy one. Come on. Who can do this one? Al-aqlamu? No. The 2 pens. Al-aqlamina? No. Al-qalamani are on the 2 books. على الكتابين. Good. على الكتابين. القلمان على الكتابين. The 2 pens are on the 2 books. Number 2. He found 2 girls in the garden. He found وجد 2 girls. بنتين في الجنة. It's one garden. في الجنة. في الجنة. If it was 2 gardens, في الجنتين. Good. Alright. That's it. That's the dual. Pretty easy, right? Now we learn what's called the personal pronoun. Now we've already learned the personal pronoun. We learned huwa. Remember what huwa means? If you don't, then I'm just going to leave the classroom right now. So what does huwa mean? He. What does hiya mean? She. Good. Now what are all the plural forms? And the dual forms? And the first person and the second person forms. So this is all of them. Huwa is he. Huma, and you're referring to 2 things. Right? Hum means they. Hum means they. Okay, now what is this humu here? See, hum has a sukoon. Remember what the rule was? When you have 2 sukoons in a row, what happens to the first sukoon? Takes a kasra. With one exception we learned? Mina. Good. So this is the second exception. Instead of becoming humi, it becomes humu. When you have 2 kasras in a row. So if you're going to say hum ar-rijal, you say humur rijal. Right? Like we said manil walad, right? You're going to say humur rijal. Right? You'll see examples of that. Hiya, what does hiya mean? She. If you're talking about 2 third person feminine, you say huma. Same as this one. Huma and huma. Doesn't matter. The dual doesn't care about the gender. It uses the same thing for both. And hunna for them. So if you're referring to a group of girls and you want to say them, you cannot say hum. You have to say hunna. And if there's a group of guys over here, you cannot talk about them and say hunna. You have to say hum. Good. Anta means you. First person masculine. So you're speaking to a guy, you say, hey Ali, anta kabirun. Right? You're big. Or anta tawilun. You're tall. So anta means you. If I'm speaking to 2 people and I say Ali and Kenny, antuma, both of you are something. Right? So then it's antuma kabirani. You're both big. Right? So then it will give you that answer. Or antuma tawilan, antuma talibani. Right? Now you know where the word Taliban comes from. Right? Talibani. Right? So antuma, you're 2 students. Right? That's what Taliban actually means. They were students. So antuma talibani. Antum is you, a group of people, right? Masculine, or there could be some females there, but there's at least one man in there. Antum, whatever, you say. Antum muslimuna. You're Muslims. Antum mu'minuna. Right? So antum, and the same thing, if it is 2 sukoons come in a row, you get antumu. Antumul muslimuna. Antumul mu'minuna. Anti is when you're talking to a girl. So you don't walk up to a girl and say, hey, Amina, anta, something. You don't even say that, you'll get in trouble. You just have to say anti. And you don't walk up to a guy and say, hey, Ali, anti, something. Don't say that. So it's anti for a girl, antuma for two girls, antunna for a group of girls. So you're addressing a group of girls, you say antunna. And then if you're talking about yourself, you say ana. Yeah, antuma, it's male and female. So all the duals, they don't care if it's masculine or feminine. You use the same word. And when you're talking about yourself, you say ana. Ana talibun. Ana ustazun. Notice the word ana is spelled with the alif. See that? But when you pronounce it as if it did not have an alif. So you do not say ana. It's written like that, right? But you pronounce it as if there was no alif there. You say ana, short. Don't say ana. It looks like it's ana, it's not. So one exception to the rule. So ana muslimun, ana talibun, ana ustazun. I am this. Nahnu is the we. But notice there's no dual. Notice nahnu means we, but there's no dual. So if there's two people and they're talking about themselves, which one are you going to use? Ana or nahnu? Use nahnu. Right? Why do they not care? Why is there no dual for we? I have no idea. This is the way Arabic language is. Okay? So you have to basically memorize these. So one way to do it is to just you can memorize them in order or in the forms, or you could just, the more you practice, you'll get them down. So if you're the type of person who likes to memorize and it's easy for you, just memorize this. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Got all the forms down. If you're a person who hates memorizing and just something that bothers you, do your homework again and again and again, you'll automatically get it down. Like, did any of you forget huwa and hiya? No, you all got it down. Did any of you forget, how do you ask a question? You use a or you use? You got it down. You didn't sit down and have to memorize it. You just got it with practice. So the same thing, you can do it either way. So let's look at some sentences. Hal anta Ibrahimu? The guy says, La, ana Muhammadun. Hal anta Ibrahimu? Are you Ibrahim? La, no, ana Muhammadun. No, I am Muhammad. So I'm going to ask you, Ali, Hal anta Ibrahimu? La, ana Ali. Good. Kenny, Hal anta Ali? No, not anta Kenny. You say, you're talking about yourself. I ask you, anta, are you Kenny? And you answer, no, I am. So I ask you, hal anta Ali? I'm asking you, hal anta Ali? Are you Ali? And you answer, la. And you say, I. First person. Ana? Kenny. That's it. Good. Alright. Mom. Hal anta Now, good. You are a mother. Good. Alright. Number 2, plural. Man antum wa man hum. Right? That means who are you, plural, wa man hum, and who are they? Nahnu, imagine people are answering. Nahnu mu'minuna, we are believers. Wa hum kafiruna, and they are disbelievers. This is how you just use it like the normal way you would use huwa and hiya in a sentence. So you already know that. You just need to memorize the form and just practice them. Now, any questions before we start practicing? Okay, it's actually, the grammar is very easy. You already know how to use huwa and hiya. It works the same way, just don't forget. If you say nahnu, if I said nahnu muslimun, is that a good sentence?
Yes.
It's a good sentence?
Yes.
Nahnu muslimun, we are a Muslim. Because muslimun means a Muslim, one. So it has to be nahnu muslimuna, right? What if I said ana mu'minuna? Ana mu'min. What if I said anti mu'minun? It should be anti mu'minatun. It has to be a female. Anti refers to a female, right? What if I said hunna? Let's look at that. Third person feminine. Hunna muslimuna. No, it should be hunna muslima, because you're copying the una. Go back to the singular. How about here? Here musli. Okay. She's a Muslim. This is like 2 weeks ago. She is a Muslim. Here muslimatun. Muslimatun. Simple as that. Hunna musli. Muslimatun. Exactly. Hunna muslimatun. They are Muslims. I mean girls, females. Muslimatun, the one we just learned before. Right. Hunna muslimatun. How about huma for masculine? Huma muslimani. And if I say huma for females, huma muslimatani. It doesn't become aini, it's the same thing. Muslimani, muslimatani. It just takes practice, don't worry. You practice it and you'll get it. So now look at your notes, keep your notes in front of you, keep your vocab in front of you, and do these exercises. Alright, you got 8 minutes. 2 minutes. Yes.
Number 6.9, number 3. But,
0.9.
number 6.9, number 3.
We're not doing 6.9. We're not doing 6.9.
Then what is an for 2 people? What is the minimum?
Wait 2 minutes. We're gonna cover it. Okay, let's take a look. Number one. Number one. Who would like to volunteer? Mustafa. Good. Very good. Nice. Okay, go. Bismillah. Antuma rajulani, which means Antuma rajulani. What does it mean? What does Antuma mean? You. What does rajulani mean? 2 men. So you are 2 men. That's it. Number 2. Yeah. Huma kitabani, which means they are 2 books. They are 2 books. Yeah, they are 2 books. What about number 3? Nahnu min madinataini. We are from 2 cities. Good. All right. 6.8. Number 1. Where are they? Aina hunna. They are in the mosque. Hunna fil masjidi. Number 2. Are they young boys? Oh, I'm not supposed to. I shouldn't have asked you this question. You can skip this question because we didn't learn how to use adjectives with plurals yet. Go to number 3. Are you, plural, are you rich? Are you rich? Right? Antum aghniya'u. Aghniya'u. Antum aghniya'u. La. Nahnu fuqara'u jiddan. Good. Good. All right. Let's move on. The demonstrative pronoun. So we already learned haza, and we learned hazihi, we learned zaka, we learned tilka. We already got most of these. So the dual of haza is hazani or hazaini. When is it hazaini? When it's mansub or majroor. When is it hazani? When it's mansub. When it's marfu'. When it's marfu', it's going to be hazani When it's mansub or majroor, it's going to be hazaini. So if you say min, you're going to use which one? If you put min before it, which one will you use? Hazaini. Right. What if you put ila before it? Hazaini. Yeah, exactly. All right. And the plural is haula'i. Haula'i. Right? So, haza means this. Hazani means these two. Hazani means these two. Haula'i means no, these. Exactly. These all, right? These. Right. Hazihi means this, but feminine. Hatani means these two, but feminine. Hataini is mansub and majroor of hatani. And haulai is the same thing. So for feminine, you also use haulai. Right? So you could say haulai muslimuna, or you can say haulai muslimatun. Right? Zalika, we know, means that. And tilka means that. Alright? So zanika means those two. Zainika, mansub and majroor form of zanika. Ulaika means those. Alright? Tanika, dual form. Tainika, dual form, but mansub and majroor. That's all it is. So you notice that you only care about mansub and majroor in the dual form. Every other form doesn't seem to care if it's marfu, majroor, doesn't make it. Because all of these are what? They're mabni. Mabni, indeclinable, they don't change. These ones are not mabni for some strange reason, and they actually change form, right? Because there's more than one form. So let's take a look at how we use them. It's actually pretty simple. Let me give you a little practice before I give you the homework. All right, so how do you say this is a book? This is a book. How do you say this is a Muslim? Hada Muslimun. How do you say these are Muslims? These. Haulai Muslims. Muslimuna. Right? How do you say that is a Muslim? Zalika Muslimun. How do you say those are Muslims? Ulaika Muslimuna. Right. How do you say this, referring to a female, is Muslim? Hazihi Muslimatun. Right. How do you say these, meaning females, are Muslims? These. Haulai Muslimatun. Muslimatun. Alright? How do I say these females are Muslims? Sorry, those. Those females are Muslims. Ulaika girls, you're talking about girls here. Ulaika Muslimatun. I don't. When you see it on paper, you'll get it. All right. So keep one more thing in mind. See this? How you write it? See this? Wow. When you have a dhamma and a wow, what do you get? Long vowel. Ooh, right? Should be ulaika. But did I say ulaika? I said ulaika. So this wow is not pronounced. It's just written, but you don't pronounce it. So you say ulaika, you do not say ulaika. Yeah? But don't forget to write it when you're writing it. These are really weird spelled words, so you have to just practice this a little bit so you can write them correctly. Okay, questions? A little bit more practice. How do you say, these are two books? Hazani Kitabani. Good. How do you say these are two pens? Hazani qalamani. How do you say those are two books? Zanika, two books. Kitabani. Good. How do you say these are two girls? These are two girls. Hatani, two girls. I heard bintaini or bintani. It's got to be one of the two. Bintani or bintaini? Bintani. Because nothing changed it. It stays in the marfu' case. Alright, so that's it. Just a little bit practice, memorize them, and practice. So let's try some practice right now. Go ahead and do the first two of each one. 2 and 2. One minute. Okay, let's take a look. Number 1. Anyone? Ali. أولئك من المدني. What's the plural of Medina? مدن. 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 So أولئك من المدن. Good. أولئك من المدن. Those, meaning those people, those are from the cities. Number 2. Number 2. Go ahead. Al-aqlamu min haula. It means the pens are from these. Good. The pens are from these, meaning these people. Number 1. Those are 2 books. Yeah. Hatani kitabani, very close. But these are 2 books. But it's those. You use the other one. No. You said it should be hazani actually. Hazani kitabani, that would mean these, meaning near. But it's those. So use the zalika form. But the dual form for zalika. Zanika. 2 books. You said it before. Kitabani, exactly. Zanika, kitabani. Those are 2 books. Alright, number 2. And by the way, the dual is very rarely used in this form. Number 2. These are men. These. Haulai. Men. Are men. Rija. How do you say, okay, just go back to the singular, okay? How do you say this is a man? You know this. Haza rajulun. Okay. How do you say these are men? Change haza to haulai and change rajulun to rijalun. That's it. So haulai rijalun. If you ever get confused, just go back to the singular and you say, I know this, I could do this. Just turn it back into plural again. Alright? That's it. Alright. Anything else? No. We have 3 minutes to spare. Any questions? Any frustrations? Remember one thing, that don't let this difficulty make you, make you quit learning Arabic. Because you can do, let me show you something. See all this grammar in this example? Where's my tricky example? Here we go. No. Right here. See this? Sami'at Maryamu Khadijata fi Makkata. And you're like, it's so difficult to figure out, is this Maryamu, Maryama, Khadijatu, Khadijata, Makkata, Makkati, Makkah. You know what? If you really wanted to speak Arabic and you find this difficult, you can just put a sukoon on everything. And you can still speak Arabic. You can say, Sami'at Maryam Khadija fi Makkah. Everyone will understand you. Right? No one's gonna think that, oh, this person doesn't know what they're saying. Your Arabic is still there. You're still learning vocabulary. You still understand what the sentence means. So don't go crazy. But remember, CIS is also catering to people who want to become Muslim scholars. Right? People who want to go all the way and really master the Arabic language. That's why we put all this stuff in. Don't let it be a means for you to quit and say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this. Even if you do 60% and you're not interested in going all the way and mastering the language, you still got more Arabic down than in 2 more weeks and 1 more week, I guarantee you will have learned more Arabic than the average college student who takes 2 quarters of Arabic at UCLA. And you can talk to them. You can talk to them and ask anyone who took 2 quarters, and you're gonna just give them your final exam, and I guarantee you they can't do anything with it. I guarantee you they can't do anything with it. So, and there are actually students online right now. Some of them I know, They took Arabic at UCLA. Some of them took Arabic at Claremont. Some of them took Arabic at Cal State San Bernardino. And some of them took Arabic at UC Davis. And one of them took the entire year at UC Davis. Actually, two of them who are online took at UC Davis. And I guarantee you, in 2 of our classes, they're going to learn more, you're going to learn more Arabic than they learned their entire year. So it's tough. That's why it's tough. You're struggling because you're learning a lot. Now we don't sing like little Arab songs, and we don't dance around like they do in the class, and we don't say, look, we're going to watch an Arab movie, and we're going to sit there and watch Al Jazeera, and you're just going to watch them talking for half an hour, and it's pretty cool, and you're like, wow, that was fun. This is not a fun class, but I guarantee you're going to learn. You're learning a lot more, a lot faster than anywhere else you'll find, inshallah. So if you're struggling, don't worry. Even if you get 60%, you don't have to master everything, and you can always take the class again, and you still learn in the end of the day.
2 questions. Are we actually going to get the end date of this class is the official end date?
So the end date of classes is as advertised, and that is next Thursday. So we have 2 more classes. September 4th, exactly. So that's what we had said, but we have to do a final exam. In all our classes, normally, final exam is online. But Arabic is the one final exam we want you to come in class for and do it in class. All right, so we're going to do that on Tuesday, so you have the whole weekend to study. Okay. So the classes will stop on Thursday. We have 2 more classes, Tuesday and Thursday. And then you have the whole weekend to study for your final exam. Final exam will be on Tuesday in class. If for some reason you can't make it, you can also turn it in online. You could do it and turn it in, honor code, you scan it, you get the same amount of time as everyone else. But if you live around the area, and obviously you do because you're here, please make sure to just try to come in, block your schedule, come in on time. If you, for some reason, you're traveling out of town or something, you could do it online as well, inshallah, okay? All right, assalamu alaikum, and help out with the chairs and the tables, please.